Hello, everybody, and we open tonight, and I really brutally messed up his show last week, and thank goodness he still sticks with me. Anyway, we've got on the phone with us. We'll start in East Tennessee with the head coach of the William Blount Governors, head coach Philip Shadowens. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Real good, Stork. What about you?
We are doing great, and you are coming through, finally, after I mutilated your show last week. Well, you lost one to Ottawa, 38-21. Talk a little bit to us about that game.
Got off to a really bad start offensively. Really struggled the first 4 possessions. And didn't get a first down. Defensively did some pretty good things. They got down 14-0, and then right before half, we were down there ready to score, and had a wide open receiver from the 6-yard line there on third down. We missed the throw, and then we got a field goal block. So after a really bad, I thought, first half, especially offensively, should have been down 14-7. Within 14-0. They kicked a field goal to start the second half, and then we kind of started playing, a different level of football. And we scored and got it down to 10 on multiple occasions with the ball in our hands, but never could cut it within the 2 scores. We threw a pick there when we were driving, when we were down 10, and kind of put the game away at that point. Saw some really good things. Even though we gave up those kind of points, I saw some really good things defensively. I think they punted 5 times. We hit another 4th down stop. We just simply couldn't generate enough offense in the first half, and then in the second half, just could not make enough plays to kind of get us back all the way in the game. So saw a lot of fights, saw a lot of good quality things from our young kids, but at the same time, I expected more, and so we've had a short week of practice. But we play tomorrow night. We moved our game to Thursday night, and so we play tomorrow night for the Battle of the Bell against the big rival Heritage, our county rival, and so we're looking forward to that one.
On those ones you were real close and you thought you should have scored, Coach, where were you with the ball? Did you have it across the field in their area, or was you still driving in your backyard?
I don't know. We had the ball on the 6-yard line, and then we had the ball inside their 40. And come away with no points on both those possessions. Those kind of mistakes you can't make.
No.
Especially when you're playing from behind. But so happens. That's part of the game. We threw the ball for almost 300 yards. Our running game was not very effective. So we got to run the ball better. But we certainly threw the ball well. Just got to make more plays. The bottom line. I mean, it's not real complicated in football. You got to block and tackle, and we got to do both those things better.
Well, but in the past, William Blount, we go back 3 years. You played this game, and maybe you lose, but it sounds like to me you talk about it, but it's 1 or 2 plays here and there, and you're right in that thing. And I mean,
oh yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Last year we competed with them some. They got a pretty big lead early, and we fought back, and kind of like we did last Friday night maybe. But the first 3 years we played them, it was over at halftime against those guys. We've made progress, but it's not the kind of progress we want. The progress we want is progress that ends with a W on Friday nights, and that's what our expectations are. And so, had a great work day on Labor Day. Had a really good practice on Labor Day, really good one yesterday, and an extended walkthrough today. So, bottom line is that we expect to win football games, and anything besides that, it's not any good. It's not good enough for us anymore. And, making the playoffs last year in our league was a big deal for us, but we want to build on that. So to do that, you got to win games, and our kids understand that, and that's what they want. So tomorrow night, hopefully we get it back to 2-2, and then maybe we can start stacking some wins together.
Coach James Davis over at Heritage, he lost to Severe. Who is it now?
It's Tim Hammondtree.
Okay, Tim Hammondtree. Well, my notes are off. Sorry, Coach. But anyway, he lost to Sevier County and Bradley Central, and he beat Lenoir City. In what you see, what does he like to do, and where does he, what in his Lenoir City game, what did he like to do there?
Well, they're a better football team than they've been the last 2 years. They had a long losing streak and beat Lenoir City to open the year off. And then Sevier County beat them week 2, 21-14. And then last week they got beat by Bradley pretty good. But they competed really well with Bradley, actually. And then they ended it in the fourth quarter. But bottom line is they're 4-2 on defense, and they just like to stay. They like to be sound. Hammontree's a really good football coach. He was at Maryville years ago, won a state championship at Maryville. Left Maryville to go to Georgia, and then decided to come back to East Tennessee and took the Heritage job maybe a decade ago or so. And,
okay,
it's a tough job. It's a tough job. Kind of like William Blount. Sometimes it's a tough job in the county that we're in, but offensively, they've got a bunch of kids out that they didn't have out last year. They got some basketball and baseball players that have kind of just been playing one sport to come out, and so their team has improved substantially from where it's been the last 2 years. And it'll be. It's been a challenge every year when you play your rival. You just never know what's going to happen. It's going to be a big old crowd, and we moved it to Thursday night. I wanted to move it to Thursday night. Maryville and Alcoa play up here on Friday night, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity for our county to really showcase two games. 2 county schools playing tomorrow night and the 2 city schools playing the next night. So I thought that was a great way to do it, and I wish we'd do it that way every year.
I don't blame you, Coach. That was a smart move. In saying that, let's talk as a fan about that game that's coming up on Friday night between Alcoa and Maryville. It is the oldest rivalry in the state of Tennessee in high school football as far as this state. In a continued tradition and everything. But it's going to be a really good game, Coach. And you have played Maryville, but what do you think Coach Rankin will have to do to beat Maryville?
I don't know. I wish those players that played at those schools that was zoned to William Blount were coming to William Blount. I can tell you that much, and I'll put that on the air out there because I have quite a few at both schools that are zoned to us. But I'll say that first and foremost. But the bottom line is, Maryville's won that game some years when they've probably not been as good. As Alcoa athletically, and I think it's kind of a mind thing for Alcoa, where they're really, really confident when they play anybody all the way through the state championships in 3A. But when it comes to Maryville, I don't think they play with the same level of confidence. And so, from what I can tell and what I've seen, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play for Alcoa. They're going to play the sophomore kid that can throw it around a little bit, or they're going to play the transfer kid in from California, or they're going to play the transfer kid that came from Sevier County last year, who played just a little bit, I think, at the end against Blackman maybe, but he's also a defensive player. I think the sophomore kid obviously probably throws it the best, but putting a sophomore kid in to kind of lead an offense against Maryville, I don't know if that'll be good for them. So I think it's going to come down to, can Maryville control the running game of Alcoa with the weapons they have at the quarterback position, as well as obviously the weapons they have at running backs and receiver. Maryville's not quite as explosive offensively. You couldn't tell that when they played us necessarily week 1, but they're not as explosive as they have been. So I think it's going to be a defensive grind. Honestly, and I'll be surprised if it's not a score, something like 21-17 or 17-14. I don't think, and I may be wrong, but I don't think it'll be a big scoring game there. I think it'll be a defensive struggle and defensive battle.
And always, Coach Creasy was making a mention about them. It'll always be the kid on the Maryville team that he hadn't, maybe he's caught 2 passes the whole year and he slides in and he knows that may be his only play, but you're covering everybody else and he's wide open, but he's practiced that play 100 times.
Well, Maryville does a good job with their young kids. And let's be honest, about 7 or 8 weeks a year, they get to play the young kids most of the second half, so.
Yep.
So they get a lot of reps and a lot of work, and they do a good job. And Derek does a great job. I'm friends. I'm really pretty good friends.
Absolutely.
We talk quite a bit, and I think he's a young coach, and I think he's really a quality man, and I think he does a great job there, and they do a great job.
It's not an easy job.
It's always easy to say whether it's Gary or whether it's been George or now it's Derek. It's easy to say, well, man, they got all that talent. They ought to be winning. That bottom line is you still got to coach them, and you still got to get them organized, and you got to keep kids happy that kind of talent, and because everybody wants theirs. And
I was telling somebody that today.
Yeah, it's not as easy. We heard that when I was at Smyrna at the end, and when I was at Blackman. Well, I ought to be winning a bunch of games, got a lot of talent. Well, there is some truth to that. Yes, you should win games, but to be a consistent winner and do the things that they've been able to do, they got to be able to organize their kids and find ways to, as much ways as you can to make sure the kids are putting the team first. And sometimes when you're really successful, that's hard to do. And they've both found ways. And I think it's easier for Alcoa to do that because they're playing 3A football, but they play in 3A football with 6A talent, obviously. And for Maryville, I think it's harder to do that because they are playing in 6A football. and they have to go through, they've had to go through Oakland, and they've kind of beat each other up, and had to go through Blackman a couple of years, obviously, and so I think it's easier during the season for Alcoa than it is for Maryville, to be quite honest, based on the competition level.
Coach, we wish you the best tomorrow night, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Stork. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.